As juror number 7, her duty was to listen and decide. But the truth wasn't being spoken in the courtroom. It was hiding in the shadows, and it knew she was looking. Her name was Anya Sharma, an architect who meticulously built things to last. Now, she was part of a system designed to deconstruct a man's life. The defendant, Liam Carter, was a young artist accused of murdering his wealthy mentor, a renowned art collector named Julian Croft. The prosecution painted a simple picture: a jealous protege, a heated argument over a forged painting, and a fatal blow with a heavy bronze sculpture from the victim's own collection. It seemed open and shut. But for Anya, the picture was blurred, the colors all wrong. The first crack in the prosecution's case appeared with the murder weapon. The bronze sculpture was presented, wiped clean of prints except for a partial smudge belonging to Carter. The prosecutor argued it was a panicked, clumsy attempt to erase evidence. Yet, Anya, with her eye for detail, noticed something else. Photos from the crime scene showed the sculpture standing upright on its pedestal. But the police report described it being found on the floor next to the body. How could Carter, in a fit of rage, strike Croft, and then have the presence of mind to not only wipe the weapon, but place it back on its pedestal only for it to be found on the floor later? It was a small inconsistency, but it nagged at her, like a single crooked line in a perfect blueprint. The second piece of evidence that deepened her doubt was a security log. Croft's mansion had a state-of-the-art security system. The log showed Carter entering at 7:05 p.m. and leaving at 7:45 p.m., the estimated time of death. But it also showed another entry at 7:20 p.m., logged as unknown error, manual override. The prosecution dismissed it as a system glitch, a common occurrence. The defense, woefully underprepared, barely challenged it. But Anya knew high-end security systems. A manual override wasn't a glitch, it was a deliberate action. Someone with a key or a code had physically disabled the door sensor for that entry. Someone else was in the house. The trial dragged on, each day a performance of carefully rehearsed lines and curated truths. The other jurors seemed convinced, their minds made up. During breaks, they'd whisper about Carter's shifty eyes or his obvious guilt. Anya felt a growing isolation, a chilling sense that she was the only one seeing the holes in the story. She started watching the gallery, the silent audience to this drama. Her eyes would scan the faces, searching for something, anything, and then she felt it. A gaze, intense, unwavering, and cold. It came from a man in the back row, always dressed in an impeccably tailored dark suit. He was never with anyone, never spoke. He just watched. He watched the lawyers, he watched the judge, but most of all, he seemed to watch her. Whenever her eyes met his, a shiver traced its way down her spine. He knew she was doubting. Her duty as a juror was clear: consider only the evidence presented in court. But her conscience screamed a different command. That night, Anya broke the first rule. Using a public library computer, she began digging. She wasn't a detective, but she was methodical. She started with Julian Croft's business dealings. He wasn't just an art collector. He was a ruthless investor in emergent tech, a world filled with high stakes and bigger secrets. She found articles about a contentious deal, a startup Croft had bankrupted just months before his death, acquiring its groundbreaking data encryption patent for a pittance. The startup's founder was a man named Marcus Thorne. A quick search for his image brought up a face she recognized instantly. It was the man in the dark suit, the man watching her from the gallery. Anya's heart hammered against her ribs. This wasn't just about a stolen painting anymore. This was bigger, darker. The next day in court, the air felt thick with menace. Thorne's stare was no longer passive. It was a silent threat. He knew she was looking, and he was daring her to find something. The weight of his gaze was a physical pressure, making it hard to breathe. She felt like a trespasser in a place she was supposed to belong. During the lunch recess, she feigned a headache and slipped away from the other jurors. Her mind was racing. The manual override in the security log. Thorne, the bankrupt company, the patent. Could Thorne have gone to the mansion to confront Croft? She needed more than just a theory. That evening, her investigation became bolder, riskier. She knew Croft's gallery, which he also used as an office, was still sealed as part of the crime scene, but it was in a commercial building downtown, not the mansion. Posing as an architectural consultant for the building's insurance company, she talked her way past the lone security guard, her fake ID and confident jargon getting her access. Her heart was a drum solo in the silent, cavernous office. The air was stale, a ghost of expensive cologne and old paper. The police had taken what they needed, but they weren't looking for what she was. She went straight to Croft's desk, a massive mahogany structure. The police had searched it, but they were looking for evidence linking to Carter. Anya was looking for anything related to Marcus Thorne. In a locked bottom drawer, which she managed to jimmy open with a palette knife from a nearby art station, she found a set of old-fashioned ledgers, hidden beneath a stack of art auction catalogs. These weren't about art. They were financial records, detailing a series of offshore accounts and coded transactions. One name appeared repeatedly next to large, unexplained payments. M.T. Marcus Thorne. It looked like blackmail. Thorne wasn't just a victim of a bad business deal. He was being paid for his silence. But the payments had stopped 2 months before Croft's death. Suddenly, a floorboard creaked behind her. Anya froze, every muscle tensed. She held her breath, listening to the suffocating silence of the office. Was it the security guard? Or had she been followed? After a moment that stretched into an eternity, she heard nothing more. Chalking it up to the old building settling, she quickly photographed the ledger pages with her phone and slipped out of the office, her entire body trembling with adrenaline. The pieces were slotting together. Thorne, cut off from his blackmail money, had a motive far stronger than a spat over a painting. He had the knowledge to override the security system. He could have confronted Croft, the argument escalating until he grabbed the nearest heavy object. He would have known to wipe it, but in his haste, he might have put it back on the pedestal, a detail the police missed or misinterpreted. The next day was the final day of testimony. Anya felt trapped. She held the truth, a burning secret in a room full of lies. She couldn't speak. She couldn't tell the judge or the other jurors what she had discovered outside this courtroom. It was inadmissible. It would be a mistrial. And worse, it would expose her to Thorne. His stare from the gallery was now a physical weight, a promise of consequences. She felt his eyes on her as she walked to her car after the court adjourned for the day. The jury sent home to rest before deliberations began. The parking garage was dimly lit, each footstep echoing ominously. Her hand shook as she fumbled for her keys. As she reached her car, she saw it. A small, white piece of paper tucked under the windshield wiper. Her blood ran cold. She slowly pulled it free. The message was typed, impersonal, and terrifyingly direct. It read, "Stop digging, or you'll be the next one on trial." Thank you so much for watching. What do you think Anya should do next? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story and want to see what happens, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more thrilling content. We'll see you in the next video.